What is up, guys? We are live here again. We're going to go over a little bit of the recent Philly sports news. Not been a ton, but there's been a little bit. I think we'll start off with the Sixers. Let's see, where did we leave off? I think we went over the Patrick Beverly. That was a good move. They signed Mo Bamba. Okay, cool backup center. I guess he's got some potential. Then they signed Montrezl Harrell again, which that one makes no sense to me. He didn't play last year. He's not going to play this year. Then they matched the 3-year, $23 million offer to Paul Reed, and that's probably the biggest move that they've made so far this offseason. And to me, like, Paul Reed is fine. I don't like bringing back Paul Reed to me doesn't do much. Right? Like, you have to do something else. Bringing in Patrick Beverly doesn't do much. This isn't going to magically get you over the hump of the second round. I think that's what my problem is right now. Is they've stayed stagnant and haven't tried to get any better. They didn't do anything in the draft. Like, none of this screams, okay, let's go make a run for it. We don't know what's happening with Harden. You're probably not going to get enough for Harden back. Paul Reed's fine. I don't think he's a great player. He's fine. I get that people like Paul Reed because he hustles a lot, but like, I don't see this massive improvement that everybody says. Like, he had, I guess he only played 10 points. He only played 10 minutes, but 4 points. He's not a real good shooter. Like, I get what you get from him is more defense, but you got to do something else. Like, this just isn't enough. Paul Reed isn't going to suddenly turn into Pascal Siakam. He's just not. He's not as athletic as Pascal Siakam. He's not. It's just he's not Pascal Siakam. I see that. I see that a lot. He can't handle the ball like Pascal Siakam. He's a fine player, a borderline playoff player, and that's the problem. He's borderline playoff. They need guys who are going to show up in the playoffs. You know for a fact are going to show up in the playoffs, and they just don't have that right now. Hell, you got three guys in your starting lineup right now that you don't know are going to show up. Like, I mean, Tobias Harris had 2 points in Game 7, and you still got him on the roster. I just don't think this Sixers roster is good enough. I didn't think they were good enough last year after they barely did anything. And it feels like the same exact offseason this offseason. You make a couple little minor moves, bringing in Mo Bamba and who the hell, Patrick Beverly. Like, exactly, Max. Like, Milton got 2 years, $10 million. Seth Curry got 2 years, $9 million. Yeah, we're gonna go out and sign Paul Reed to 3 years, 23. It just doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me. And I'm not in on the Sixers right now by any means. I'm still giving a little bit of time, but my hope is really dwindling with the Sixers right now. I don't see them getting over the hump. I don't see Nick Nurse making that much of an impact. What I've paid in the Yankees. Now, I don't guys that weren't playing well in the playoffs, they didn't show up in the playoffs, they don't deserve to be back. I don't give a shit about the regular season stats because we know we're going to make the playoffs. We just need these guys to show up in the playoffs. And if they suck in the playoffs, I don't want them back. Like Milton and Niang, to me, them going, whatever. They didn't show up in the playoffs anyway. They didn't play in the playoffs that much. So bring in a guy like Patrick Beverly. Okay, he's played in the playoffs before. He's got a winning attitude. I'm okay with that. But there needs to be more. Like, it's just not enough. This team just doesn't have it. Yeah, like Cork and House aren't going to do you anything. And we don't have any money. I'd throw Harris on the bench. He's a good player when he is the only star. No, hey, he's not. Harris chokes in big moments because he's not good enough for big moments. Harris shouldn't be on the team. They should have traded Harris and gotten something else. But they've held on to Harris for no reason, and they're stuck with him now. They're stuck with him now, and he's not good. Anyways, let's move on from the Sixers. I don't think the Sixers are good enough. There's no change in my mind on that unless they make a decent size move to get us something else. But I mean, I don't see the Sixers doing anything like. All right, let's talk about the Phillies. So first round last night, Phillies took a shortstop, third baseman from the Mitchell Mustangs high school. His name is Aiden Miller. He's 6'2", 220. Seems to have an okay swing. I'm a little worried about the swing. I think it's a little long right now. But, I mean, he's 19 years old. We'll see where he gets. He was hurt most of the year. So that's a little bit of worry. But he was also projected, at least by ESPN, as the 13th best player in the class. So they got good value there at 27. Obviously, the draft is a crapshoot. So we'll see what he is. But, they got a guy at third base that they kind of need. They need a corner infielder because we're not sure if Bohm is going to stay at third, stay at first. And even so, I mean, this kid is so far from being a major leaguer at this point that you can't really project. Like, he's 19 years old right now. He's not going to be in the majors until 2026 at, like, the very, very earliest. So it's going to take a little bit for him. I guess, let's see. Next little bit of Phillies news. Bryce Harper got hit in the elbow. I think he's okay, but I really wanted him to just be able to heal up these next couple days through this All-Star break and be able to maybe have that power back again. I know it's going to take a little bit for that arm to fully heal, right? But him getting hit in that elbow is not going to help at all. I'm really hoping he's fine. They need him. And I think their biggest problem right now, there's a couple different problems. Aaron Nola has been absolutely shit. Aaron Nola's given up the most home runs in all of baseball, in the whole National League right now. Might be all of baseball. He just looks like crap out there. And he was one of your guys who like, okay, this guy is going to be certain he's going to be around a 3 ERA, 3.5, going to win you ball games. He's been the opposite of that. He's been the opposite of that. He's been the complete opposite of that. I mean, Aaron Nola, he's got 119 innings, which is a lot of innings. 4.39 ERA. Like, that's just not going to do it. It's not going to do it. He's given up 21 home runs, which is the third most in his career already. He only gave up 19 home runs all last year. And he did that in 205 innings. We're only 119 innings in the year. And he's given up 21. The most he gave up was in 2019. He gave up 27 home runs. He's close to his 2021 year, where he pitched 180 innings, 4.6 ERA. I think this is just kind of who Aaron Nola is. He's an up and down pitcher every year. You can't rely on Aaron Nola, and it's a real shame. I get that he's not an ace, and that's okay. But he's not even a solid number 3 pitcher right now. He's barely even a number 5 pitcher right now. So I'm concerned about Aaron Nola. I'm a little concerned about Wheeler, but Wheeler's up and down every start. But Wheeler seems to like click a little bit better than Nola does. Wheeler's 7-4. He's got a 4.05, which is bad, but isn't awful. He's only given up 8 home runs, which is a big difference. 47 earned runs. You can kind of deal with that a little bit. The problem is they just need an ace, and they're not producing aces right now. Ranger Suarez is up and down. I don't think any three of these guys are aces. I guess the one good bit of news was Andrew Painter. We thought he may have torn his UCL, but he didn't tear his UCL, so he's going to play soon, hopefully. He's going to start pitching soon. But he's not going to be with the Phillies, and they shouldn't rush him with the Phillies. They should keep him in the minors. And I think they're going to have to go out and try to get an ace this offseason. I think they have to go out and try to get an ace this offseason because Zach Wheeler looks like he's declining at this point. He's 33 years old. Aaron Nola, you're not giving him a contract. You just can't. After the season he's had this year, you can't give him a contract. So I think you got to go out and try to get yourself an ace. Who that is, I don't know. I mean, let's see. Let's look at the 2023 Freeman class. Yeah. We'll see who's out here. Like pitcher wise. There's not much out there at all. Julio Urias, he would be a tremendous player. Otani's obviously out there. I don't think they get Otani. He's going to be a little bit. Severino's a decent pitcher, but they need an ace. I don't know where they get one. Stroman's going to be a free agent, yeah, but I don't think he's an ace either. I think he's on the same 2-3 tier that Wheeler is, and I think you need that solid ace. Severino's awful. Is he? I feel like he's either really good or really bad. Bieber's out there. Bieber would be nice. Yeah, Severino is awful. I don't know where I got the impression that he was good, but no, he is not good. You are correct. He is awful. It's weird though. Last year in 19 games started, he had a 3.18 ERA. This year he's been awful. So, I guess that's just baseball for you. These guys are just crazy. I don't think Max Scherzer makes much sense to Philly. I think he's too old. Go pick up Cease at the deadline. Maybe. You know, I think the other thing they really need is a right-handed bat, a right-handed left fielder. Because Kyle Schwarber just is killing you right now. He can't hit against lefties. He can't hit against righties. But you need to play him every once in a while because they refuse to play Brandon Marsh in center field against lefties. Not like Christian Pache. Christian Pache should play there a decent amount. But you need a solid bat out there. And let's actually look at what Oakland's got on their roster because they're gonna trade away whoever they have again because they just suck. So, let's see. 40-man roster. What do you got in the outfield? Depth chart. Here we go. They have anything solid? They have Brett Rooker, right? I think that's his name. Yeah. Brett Rooker, right-handed bat, left field, 16 homers, 240 average isn't great, but 341 on base. I think he's solid. I think that may be something that makes sense. It won't cost you a whole lot. Seth Brown's a lefty. You don't want him. Let's see. Almides Diaz. He's a little old, though. 32, 209. No, that doesn't do much. So, should trade Wheeler for a couple pitching prospects. You can't trade Wheeler at this point. Nola, they might deal. Nola might be deal. You could trade for anyone at the break. Who would you go for? Be realistic. Is Lane Thomas lefty or right? I thought Lane Thomas was a lefty. I might be right. I might be wrong. No, he is a righty. Batting 302, 14 home runs. The problem is he's playing with the Nationals, isn't he? It's going to be hard to get him from the Nationals because it's the Nationals and they're your rival. I don't know how much control he has left either if he's a free agent at the end of the year. But that may cost you too much. That's part of the thing. They can't give up a big tier prospect like Abel at this point. You just can't. You got to keep guys like Abel and Painter. Should the Phillies bring back Hoskins next year? They might have to, because you look at the system, they don't really have a guy who can replace Hoskins. They just don't have much at first base down there at all. Who you could say, okay, let's replace Hoskins with this guy. Now, we'll see what's out there in free agency. I've heard a lot of rumors about Paul Goldschmidt. Paul Goldschmidt's older, so I don't know about that. But I'm not giving up a lot for Paul Goldschmidt at this point because it just doesn't make sense for the Phillies to go all in like that. Paul Goldschmidt's been good this year, really good. 284, 15 home runs, 46 RBIs. But I'm not giving up Abel or Painter for him because I think you got to kind of rely on Abel and Painter at this point. Wheeler is declining and Nola's not going to be back. So you're going to need to fill those rotational spots. You're going to need to fill those rotational spots. Abel, Painter should be in there. And the other one, McGarry has struggled too. So we'll see what those guys are. But you're going to need to keep some of these guys around to kind of replenish. There's not much in the higher rankings of the system. It's all down lower. Like, you got some really stud prospects in single A right now. Do I expect the Phillies to go on a run after the break? I don't know. See, what I keep saying is, like, the Phillies are 7 games over 500 and still haven't clicked. Schwarber struggled big time, right? Harper struggled big time. Turner struggled big time. Nola struggled big time. And Wheeler struggled big time. You get 2 of those guys to click, and you're going. Like, you're good. But that's what I'm a little worried for, is will these guys click? Because if they don't click, you're going to be around what they're doing. What's going on with Harper? He's fine. He's going to play. It sucks, but he's going to play. The bottom of the lineup is doing better than the top. Yeah, and that's a problem too. They're going to have to figure something out with this lineup. Schwarber just is not cutting it in the leadoff spot. You cannot have somebody batting 185. And I know batting averages aren't everything, but he's constantly popping the ball up on the first or second pitch. You got to at least work the count. And then Turner right after him is just as bad. So I think they really need to split up this lineup. I would move Stott up. I'd move maybe Bohm up. But I think if you have Stott at the top of the lineup, maybe you go Stott 1, Turner 2, Harper 3, Castellanos 3, Harper 4, Schwarber 5. Do something like that. Spread out the lineup a little bit. But I really think they need to do something to make this team to change up this lineup a little bit. Even though it's funny because they go in stretches where they score 13 games. They score 13 runs. And then the next night they score 1. It's like they need some consistency here. I think it does start with Schwarber and Turner. I mean, at least Turner needs to be more consistent. He needs to get back to that 300 hitter. I don't want Turner to be hitting bombs left and right. I mean, obviously that would be awesome if he did World Baseball Classic stuff, but we need him to have that solid get on base so Castellanos can bring you in. Get on base so Harper can bring you in. Get on base so guys that are back in the lineup like Marsh can bring you in. That's where it is. Painter is not out for the season yet. And I don't think they should call up Abel yet. I think they got to kind of let these guys, they can't rush these guys. That's what got Painter hurt. It's because they're like, oh, Painter's going to be your 5th starter, and he was throwing as hard as he could as soon as he could. And that was the problem with Painter. He ramped it up way too early. Opinion on Josh Harrison's injury, he should be gone from the team. He sucks. He shouldn't. And that's the other problem I got with the lineups. Bryson Stott needs to play every single night. Every single night, Bryson Stott needs to play. Same with Brandon Marsh. Josh Harrison should not be out there. If you're going to do anything, change up Schwarber every once in a while. Schwarber's played every game. And Schwarber is a butcher in left field. I mean, you got Schwarber batting 184 with 49 RBIs. 22 home runs, which is tied eighth. So not bad, home run wise. But he's only got 49 RBIs. They're not translating. None of this is translating. He's got a 736 OPS. Just not good enough. You need more out of Schwarber. Should we trade Kyle the other year? I don't know if Kyle's worth anything. I think that's part of the thing is, we could trade this guy, trade this. I don't think he's worth anything. I mean, he's got one of the higher contracts in baseball. I just don't think it's worth it. Thank you so much, Jaden, for the roses. Appreciate it. But I don't know where we go with the Phillies at this point. Kyle doesn't get on base. He gets on base some, but the problem is when Kyle gets on base, he stays at first base. He can't steal you bases. If you put Kyle anywhere, Kyle should be in the 5 spot. Kyle hasn't hit a home run in like 3 weeks. Do you think we should draft Kevin McGonigal? No, because we don't need another shortstop. Get Crawford in high A. Yeah, I think he's coming. I think it's coming up soon. Crawford's going to be in high A. I think they're going to move a couple guys up to high A or to high A soon. They got my boy Jordan Disson's tearing it up in high A too. There's a few guys down there that are just absolutely killing it. They had the best record in all of baseball for a while down there, and they're still. Let's see. The only knock on Crawford right now is he just doesn't have much power. And it's gonna come. He's 19 years old. So I'm not too worried about the power. But yeah, Clearwater's 55-25. So they've been good. Really good. I mean, look at the stats of these guys. I mean, some of these guys just got absolutely gaudy stats. It's impressive. Got the team leader in home runs is 8, which was more. They've moved a couple guys up through the system pretty quickly. Let's see. But I mean, you got Jordan. You got Justin Crawford is batting 344. Amarion Boyd, who's got 41 stolen bases already, batting 283. Eric Brito, 277. Jordan Disson, who was batting 300 for most of the year, had a rough week. He's batting 277 now, but he's got a 400 on base percentage. Like these guys are really turning up in low A. Reese making a return. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. I want Schwarber out of Philly. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. He gets on base. He's got a 736 OPS. It's terrible. I don't even see his on. Let's see. What's his on base percentage? I bet you it's below 350. 313 on base percentage. It's not good. He's already struck out 117 times. Negative 1.2 WAR. And he's awful in the field. So I don't think that they should be playing Schwarber every night like they have been, especially in the leadoff spot. It's just not working. It's not working. Should we re-sign Rhys Hoskins? You might have to because I don't see much else they can put there. So I think that'll do it for today's episode. Thank you guys, whoever tuned in on YouTube. Like and subscribe. And Twitch too. Make sure you follow on Twitch. Gonna try to do a lot more on Twitch soon. Gonna try to do some Xbox streams. Maybe do a rebuild or two on the Xbox. Um, but yeah, Schwarber's only here for home runs, and he's not even hitting home runs. But Stott works the pitcher though. Schwarber pops up with the first or second pitch. Nick's carrying the office. Yeah, he is. He is. Which that kind of gives me some hope that okay, one or two of these, you get one of either Turner or Schwarber or Harper to click, and you're all of a sudden so much better. So we'll see what happens. Thank you guys, everybody that's tuned into YouTube, Twitter,